Marketing is not dead. Let's talk about how bad marketing is though, and how yours can get better today, right now. Let's go. Hey, what's up? It's Gabby Starnes. Welcome to my office hours. I'm so excited that you're here. Listen, we have office hours because out in the real world, when you are doing a masterclass, signing up for another program, doing all of that, marketing feels really confusing. And so when you come to office hours, we simplify. We want real marketing, real strategy, real results around here. All right, so let's jump in today. We're talking about how people often say marketing is dead. It kills me when I hear business owners say that. If you don't know, I run a small agency, a boutique agency here in Kansas City, and out and beyond, we service so many clients, like on the East Coast, on the West Coast, here in Kansas City. We love marketing, and we have seen the fruits of it at my agency, and even beyond, like when I wasn't working for my agency, I've seen the fruits of it, and I've gotten to help people take their products from $0 to 3.1 million in 12 weeks. Crazy. And then also, like apps, educational apps, I've helped them scale to 250K a month. I've seen big things happen, and I'm sure bigger things could happen, and smaller things are great too, but those are the things I've seen happen, just some of them. So I know marketing is not dead. It is truly alive. I feel like I should sing a song or something, but I'm gonna save you and spare you. But let's talk about why a lot of people think marketing is dead. Then we're gonna talk about some harsh truths, and then we're gonna break down how you can get your marketing to work for you in this current season that we're in, and the landscape, I guess you could call it, that we're in, called marketing. All right, let's hit it. Okay, so some reasons why your marketing might not be working. Reason number one, you are frustrated with the algorithm, or algorithm frustration, as I'd call it. It feels like a disease, a symptom. To be honest, I hear a lot of people talking about how the algorithm on this social media platform or this, different thing that they're using is not working well anymore, or it's changed, or blah, blah, blah. The reality is like, if you show up consistently, you're going to get views. If you do the reps, you're going to get leads eventually. But the reality is yeah, sometimes the algorithm doesn't work like it used to. So we want the easy way out, and we're not putting in the reps like maybe we should be, or maybe like we used to. I'm guilty. And so we get frustrated. So algorithm frustration is one reason, but I'm here to tell you social media, it still works, it's still alive. You might have to change how you use it and stay consistent in that. But I think that's true to a lot of things in life. Like when you get older, you can't eat the same way you used to in your 20s. I mean, I used to have cake for breakfast, guys, and now I'm having to have eggs and protein shakes and green juice, okay? Things change, right? So same with your social media life and your social media strategy. It should be the same, all right? So don't grow frustrated with social media. Just realize, hey, time changes things, and I gotta just stay on top of it, and that's okay. The second reason a lot of people are frustrated with marketing and feel like it's dead is because they have slow growth. The reality is when I talk to a lot of people, I often say that you have two things you can invest when it comes to marketing. You can invest your money or your time. And if you don't have a lot of one of those things, your growth is most likely, unless you are one of those like 1%ers who are an outlier, your growth is most likely going to be very slow. And that's okay though. Here's the thing, growth is growth. And I oftentimes equate marketing to like being in a gym with a coach. We have a good strategy, that is your coach. And when you are in the gym, same as in marketing, you're in it, you got your strategy, which is your coach, and you're working things out. You are not going to drop 30 pounds in a day. I mean, you're not going to become a bodybuilder in a day. And that is normal when we think about fitness, right? But in marketing, we're looking for a quick win. And sometimes you get them, right? And sometimes people start jogging and they end up finding out that they are a world-class runner. And that is like the 1% outliers once again. The reality about marketing is that unless you have a big budget or a lot of time, your growth is going to be consistent if you keep going and you don't give up on it, but it's not going to be super fast and off the charts and all of that. The reality is it's growth though, and that's something that we need to realize, recognize, understand, and say, hey, that's actually really cool. I'm growing. I have 2 more leads a month than I did last month. I have 4 more, views of this thing than I did last month. And so I think growth is growth and we need to recognize it. And if we want to change something, we need to, in terms of speed and compounding, we need to constantly reflect and say, how can I give more? Either money or time. And so, or hire someone, which is also money. So, we got to think about it like that, all right? Slow growth is still growth and it matters. And you can't just throw things to the curb because it's slow, all right? Or you can, and then you think marketing doesn't work, all right? Number 3, a reason why a lot of people are frustrated with their marketing is because they have the wrong strategy, right? So I love doing, consultations with people. And if you want a consultation, I put a link to those in the description of this video. But back to this, when I'm talking to people, a lot of people talk about how they are a certain kind of business, right? For example, a local business. Let's just use local business. Let's do a local service business, somebody that's an accountant in Dallas, Texas, right? So that's local to their area. They're not trying to be national. There's a certain marketing strategy, just from me knowing those things about them, that's gonna work really well for them, right? But they're not using the right strategy. They're only trying to reach people on social media or something like that. And that could work, but the reality is there's things that will work better. And one of those things is search engine optimization. There's people, when they're ready to do their taxes or they need a CPA, they go on Google or Bing, right? And they search CPA Dallas, Texas. And you, if you're a CPA or an accountant, you need to come up in that search. But a lot of people, they don't even think about that. They have the wrong strategy. You're probably gonna get more bang for your buck, your time, if you have an SEO strategy in that person or that business's position than a social media strategy. And yes, I said it, and don't come for me, okay? Or if you wanna come for me, the comments are open. But really, over time, that's what I've seen. A lot of local businesses thrive with a good SEO plan. Just the reality is they got to figure out how to do it, or they don't even know what SEO is. And so getting the right strategy is wonderful. How do you do that? I could talk about that later, but I'm just going to talk about it now. You can Google it. You can ask ChatGPT, honestly, but you could talk to somebody. You could talk to myself. You can talk to somebody you know in marketing. Talk to somebody, right? Okay, and get a plan that works for you. Boom. Number 4, over-reliance on trends. That's the 4th reason why I believe a lot of people are frustrated with marketing. And over-reliance on trends is wild to me because, virality has just become this thing that people are chasing. So when they see a trend that's really popping off, usually by the time you see it, it's probably too late to jump on it most of the time, just to be honest, okay? But the reality is a lot of people, they want to jump on the trends. But here's the thing, trends fade, and we don't want our growth to fade. So if you're trend hopping cannot keep a successful amount of leads or sales or revenue coming through the doors, it's time to jump off of those trends, okay? And I'm just being honest here. A good strategy will keep you consistently growing in terms of sales, revenue, leads, and hopefully your consistency looks more like this, like you're consistently compounding, not just laying straight. I mean, it could, but like the reality is we want to compound and grow in terms of your sales and your leads and your revenue. All right. So those are the 4 reasons why a lot of people think marketing is dead. But here's some hard truths, okay? And I want to start with the hard truths and then let's move into the strategy realm because a lot of us need to hear them. And I'm going to say them with love, all right? So don't get upset, all right? This is a hard video to actually film. How did I end up here? It's a hard office hour session, but I think this is going to help a lot of people, okay? So let's talk about some hard truths. Okay, number 1 here. Hard truth number 1 is that your messaging, oftentimes if your marketing is not working, is unclear, okay? And what I mean by that is you got to think about life like this and people like this. A lot of people cannot read above an 8th grade reading level. So if you're using all of these really specific jargon words from your industry, and let's say you're in the health industry and you're using all these nerdy words from a journal that you read and a doctor that you met with, we don't understand. I need you to make it plain, dumb it down. Let me know how this smoothie you're selling is going to cure my gas issues or whatever I'm dealing with. Like, just make it really simple. I can totally attest to this. I'm in the marketing realm, which can be very techy. So like, we use a lot of jargon and acronyms and things that a client, when they come to us, they don't have a clue what we're talking about. Hooking an API to this integration, they have no idea. So we gotta dumb it down. Hey, I'm gonna hook your HubSpot to your email, or I'm gonna hook your HubSpot to your Nextech, okay? Make it simple, all right? And let them catch up with you. It just helps so much. People, if they can't understand you, are definitely not gonna wanna work with you or buy what you have, period. I get it, guys, I've been there. All right, hard truth. Number 2, your content doesn't build trust because you're not doing the reps. So let's get back to our workout analogy, doing the reps. You start to get the muscle. People start to look at you and say, man, she looks good. He looks good. Maybe I should do what they're doing. You see that? You see that? You doing the reps on social media, you doing the reps with your SEO and your blog posts and your content on your website, you doing the reps by, even working your sales muscles, calling people, whatever, that signifies trust. So people don't trust you because you're not doing that. And you just got to get out there, do the reps. I think a lot of people stop right there. They don't do the reps, so they think marketing doesn't work. Marketing sucks. I don't like marketing. No, you're just not doing the reps. Okay? Marketing takes reps. Somebody has to do the reps. Somebody has to do the time. Whether you hire somebody and pay them to do it, which people hire me and they hire my company. We get it. We do the reps for them. But if you don't have the money, you do the reps. I still do the reps with my content because I love it and I don't want to hand over my reps with that. If you find something you love, do the reps on your own. But somebody has to do the reps. Put in the time. Number 3, it feels a little similar to number 2, but a lot of people, they aren't consistent with their voice, if that makes sense. Let's go deeper. Okay. So as a brand, as a person, as a content creator, as an influencer, whatever you're doing, whatever you're selling, that thing needs to have a certain voice to it, right? It's really easy when you're a content creator because you just use your voice, hopefully, and you don't have to fake anything or create anything like that. But the reality is you're not consistent with your voice. You're not consistent with the message. And so if you're constantly switching around, a good example is if you're on Instagram and you are, let's say, a content creator. One day you're creating about marketing. The next day you're creating about your dog. The next day you're creating about pickleball. And then the next day you're creating about your faith. We love you and we understand that you're multidimensional. But we don't understand anymore what you are trying to do and what you want from us as an audience. What do you want us to buy or do? Make it plain, make it clear. And how you do that is you're consistent with what your message is. So if you want to talk about marketing, to get people into your marketing matrix, to give them your blueprint, to help them out, talk about marketing. Don't muddy the waters too much, okay? So being consistent with your brand voice, your content creator voice, your influencer voice, that's gonna be huge. And that's gonna actually signify trust, just like I talked about in number 2. So please, guys, we love your dog, okay? And we love your kids. And we love that you love pickleball. We love all that. And maybe every now and then, give us a little sprinkle. But we need you to be about the 90%, which is about what you're trying to offer us and how you're making the world better, okay? And number 4, a hard truth, and I hate to say this because it breaks my heart. I've seen so many products and so many people with great ideas, and they just do not understand their audience. Like, who is gonna use that thing? Who is gonna buy that thing or their service? They don't understand them. So they're speaking above their heads, or they're not on the right platforms to reach them. They're not going out and finding them because they don't understand them. Take a moment, if you haven't yet. Everybody must do this, truly. No matter how great you are and how fancy you are and how much money you are. Everybody needs to sit down and do this. Figure out who your audience is. If you have a product about how to make babies stop crying in the middle of the night, you trying to reach people that are 15 to 18, you might have some in there for sure. You know what I mean? But the reality is they're probably not going to buy from you. Because parents that have that expendable income and babies crying are a lot older than that. I'm just being honest. And so things like that are worth consideration. How much does your product cost? How much does your t-shirt cost? Can people who you're trying to reach afford that? If they can, how do they talk? Where do they hang out? Are they on TikTok? Are they on Instagram? Are they on YouTube? Do you need to run ads? Do you need to, you see what I'm saying here? Think it through. And if you need someone to help you, your girl is here, but you could probably talk to a cousin and they could help you. All right. So you got to think it through. All right. Now we're done with the hard truths. Let's jump in to what you can be doing to fix your marketing if it sucks, okay? Let's just call a thing what it is. If you think marketing is dead, it's probably because your marketing is not great. And so let's fix it, okay? Thing number one that we can do, okay? We talked about messaging. We talked about getting your message clear. Get your message clear and have one purpose behind your messaging, all right? Make it clear, stop muddying the waters. We already talked deeply about it. I'm not gonna go too deep into this because we already talked about it. I'm not gonna be the horse or beating the horse down the road. What's the saying? I'm not gonna do that to you, okay? I'm not gonna keep hitting the gong. Make your messaging clear. Sit down, write it down, and make sure you can talk about it as well. And then if you really feel like you need some help, ask somebody that you know, a good friend, a good person, a good colleague, somebody that would help you and give you great feedback. Ask them. All right, the second thing that you can be doing to make your marketing go and make it thrive is have consistent pillars. What I mean by that is if you're on social media, if you're even doing SEO, if you're doing ads, whatever you really honestly are doing, you can have consistent pillars. And so if you, for example, I'm just gonna use myself, I do marketing. My consistent pillars are these four things. I'm gonna have a polarizing view most often about marketing because you know, your girl is a little polarizing at times. I'm gonna put that out there. I'm gonna write about it. I'm gonna talk about it. It's gonna be on Instagram. I'm gonna make content about it. I'm gonna always have that as a part of my brand. And that helps people to understand and recognize oftentimes when they see something like that, oh, that's Gabby. All right, second thing is I'm gonna talk about lessons that I've learned. All right, I'm very personable. And so that's a part of my brand. And that signifies trust when people keep seeing these kinds of content pillars and these things that I'm talking about. They're like, oh man, yeah, that's her. That's her messaging, right? That's her content pillars. They don't say content pillars, but that's what she talks about. That's what she's about. Number three, I'm gonna talk about, I said, okay, mistakes. I said polarizing views. I'm gonna talk about how to help you. Give you strategy. I'm not going to gatekeep, all right? And so another thing that I want to be known for, that's my third content pillar. And the fourth one is I'm going to talk about proof in my pudding, right? The proof to my pudding, how people are actually succeeding with the strategies that I've used, some test cases, some client testimonials, and client success stories. I'm going to use those. And I'm going to just circle through those four over and over and over again. That's the basis of my brand. That's the basis of my content. When you have your content pillars locked in, something good to think about is how do they actually help others? I think we are done with the realm of always thinking about how does it showcase me the best or how does it make me look so great? I think we're tired of marketing like that. We're tired of content like that. We're tired of ads like that. We're tired of social media posts like that. Tired of SEO posts like that. Help me out, please. That's what your users and your customers want. They want to feel like you care about them. So do that with your content and your content pillars. Number three, how to fix your marketing. All right, let's talk about this. This is not going to be easy for a lot of you, but you need to just repeat it, your message, your content pillars like we just talked about. You need to just repeat until it sticks. Like some of the best content creators that I follow, they literally say the same things over and over and over again. If you feel like people are getting tired of what you're saying, good. That's when you need to lean in and keep saying it more because listen, we're distracted by a million things, like quite literally. Like we're getting like thousands of ads sometimes a day as one human being. So you leaning into your message, leaning into your core content pillars, leaning into what you're about and what you're selling constantly, that's gonna help people finally make a decision about you. I have a book called Guerrilla Marketing. It was written in 2003. And the author says back then that people need to see your content 16 times for them to make a decision about you. So how much more in the 2020s are we needing to see your content? How much more? All right, the next thing is you need to focus on your proof and your value. Now, that's one of my content pillars. So the focus is there, right? But a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't work on reviews. A lot of people don't work on talking about what their proof is, and who they've helped and how great their services have helped people. And if you don't have anyone, start with yourself. Go get a friend that you can help. If you're a web designer, you've never done someone's website, do your own website and then go do someone else's website and then get them to write a testimonial, a review for you. And then start circulating those in your content, even in your ads, in your videos, in your SEO. Like, do that. Let people know that like you actually help. That's huge. Reviews are huge. I mean, think about it. When you go to a restaurant, if you're like me, I need to know if it's a great restaurant. We look at reviews. Me and my husband, we look at the reviews. If I'm going to a new doctor, I look at the reviews. If I'm going to a new hairstylist, which I'm not, because you don't mess with the hair, okay? But I look at the reviews, okay? So make sure your reviews and your customer testimonials and success stories are there and on point. And if you don't have some, be the first and go get some, okay? All right, lastly, understand what platforms and frameworks you need to be successful. Listen, I'm gonna just break it down. I can't break it down in this video because it would be an hour long, but I'm gonna give you a little, dip in the pool here, okay? If you're a service business, I highly recommend SEO. Like, you will find that a lot of people are searching what you have to offer on the internet, right? If you are selling like e-commerce, I highly recommend cranking the heck out of a social media strategy. Do it. And then running ads if you have the money. That's where I can start. Listen, I can't give you a custom framework or strategy if we're just here in office hours where we're all here, right? But if you want one, I do have my 90-day blueprint, which I'm gonna be changing the name of it soon, but it's down below. It's gonna be called the Momentum Map in the future. So if you're watching this in the future, that's what you need to be looking for. But literally, it asks you all these questions about where you're at with your product, business, brand, and then it takes you down the marketing strategy that you need to be successful and see yourself grow and profit, revenue, sales, all the things, leads if that's for you. And so go get that if you feel like you need a custom strategy. And if you need to talk to somebody like myself, I'm like, I don't want to read it, Gab, I just need to talk to somebody. Can they help me? For sure. I have a few consultation spots every month, a few. So first come, first serve. But there's a link to that too in the description. That's it for now, you guys. This was a lot. So make sure if you need to go back, repeat, look at the notes in the description, do it because it's gonna be worth it. In 2026, there's no reason why your marketing should feel dead. Marketing is fully alive and it's a neutral tool that you can truly use to really do some damage for your business, which when you do damage with your business, it does great things in your family life and your personal life and your dreams. So listen, let's go and let's get after it. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.